What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your co-host CJ here with my lovely co-host ZD, and we are at episode 1 of season 3 of Three Man Weave. Thank y'all for joining us,
What?
and huge moment.
Crazy,
We
huh?
ended up ending last season, I think, with 94 episodes. So this is one of our next season, and excited. We have a lot of storylines that we want to see this upcoming year.
Sure.
Can the Thunder go back to back? Can Luca lead the Lakers to a top 4 seed this year? We have
Yeah.
a lot of things, but it's Wednesday, October 22nd. Yesterday was NBA tip off, and the Thunder and the Lakers played. We'll talk about that later on in the podcast, but we have
Well,
our opening preview. Obviously, it's some of the games already started tonight, but this is the official opening day for NBA. 11 of the
yes, sir.
11 games going on today. Sorry.
Right. 22 teams.
22 teams we have going against each other tonight, so it's a loaded docket. We have a lot to talk about, but how are you doing, ZD, on opening day?
Man, I'm gonna say season three man, crazy, bro. It's been a long time, and it just, I don't know. It also feels like it's gone by so fast, bro. But I'm thankful to be here, and we've been praying on this day. For us, it's like Christmas morning. Can't really complain, man. We tried to go live yesterday. You were able to do it, get some clips, which was dope, and hopefully, the love is in the air. You're finally able to watch your favorite team on League Pass, on national television, no matter where you are in the world. You finally get yourself some NBA basketball. So I can't complain, sir. I was feeling a little under the weather, but I'm doing much better today. So how are you feeling, man? How are you doing?
Doing great, bro. You said it, man.
Yeah.
It's just the time of year, basketball season. No matter what time you come home or at the end of your night, you guarantee there's a game on, so you could just sit down, watch it, be locked in, and
Oh, yeah.
especially if your
No matter
team's
what it is.
playing, you're more locked in those games. But no, I'm doing good, bro. You said it earlier, but just with like all our teams playing and shit, bro. Especially the
A lot.
game yesterday, bro. For me, that was one of the
Crazy.
craziest game I've seen in a while. Double OT. Like I said, we'll talk about it later, bro. But no, I'm doing good, man. We've been doing our
Well, if
dynasty
you want, sir,
fantasy.
if you want, we can give it to him now.
You want to
You just
just?
want to give him the cake
I
now,
think
and
so,
then
bro.
yeah,
And
I think
then
so, bro.
I
Let's
think
do it
so.
for our listeners.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So
Let's go
yeah,
ahead.
starting off opening night ring ceremony for the boys, Oklahoma City Thunder going against Houston
Yeah,
Rockets.
yes, sir.
KD and his return, Steven Adams as well, and Jeff Green. They were
I'm about to
all
say
they had
three previous Thunder guys coming back, man. That's
crazy.
crazy.
Huge moment, bro. It was just being able to see that. Obviously we were trying to set up the live stream, so like didn't really get to watch the ring
Yeah, you weren't able
ceremony,
to. Yeah,
but
I saw that
yeah,
live too.
yeah, it sucked, bro. I was like,
Seeing
fuck.
that's what it is, and like not getting to watch your team was so
Yeah.
frustrating for me, bro. Trust me.
But just like, looking at it, bro, and just reflecting on that season, bro. I think a lot of people are like hesitant to really appreciate
Oh, for
greatness
sure,
as it happens and doesn't really think of
for
it
sure.
they don't look at it in a bigger picture. They look at it for what it is in the moment. And I think a lot of people
Yep.
take for granted what's happening in sports, that it's in front of them. So, hopefully,
Hmm.
the Thunder and, especially for me, bro, seeing them being able to actually raise a banner, get those rings, hold the trophy up, the Larry OB, and the shit was amazing, bro. So just seeing that finally come to an end and start the season off right. They took a picture in front of the banner. They were like
Yeah.
touching the banner because it's gonna go on the rafters. That's gonna be there forever. It's history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just seeing that was great, bro. But kind of getting into the game, like we said earlier, was really trying to set up live, right? Because we were trying to watch it on assists, and we ran into some problems, but Carlos ended up helping me out in the third quarter, so that's when I started live streaming. But pretty much from first quarter up until halftime was trying to mess with it, or like maybe like second quarter. So didn't really get to really lock in and watch it, but after that time is whenever I started watching it a little
Yeah, you
closer.
got
And
smoothed out. Yeah,
but I mean, from the get go, man, I think it was really just what Sengun was able to do. I feel like what he's improved on in this past season, his 3-point shooting, like is what I noticed from right off the rip. I think he ended up making 5 threes that game and kind of was dominating us, bro. We try to start off with a double big lineup and then we switch it come like second quarter. We try to go a little bit smaller, but for everyone that doesn't know, the Rockets just had the tallest starting lineup ever and a
ever.
starting five. I think Amin is like 6'7". KD's are at shooting guard at like 6'11", and then everyone else is 6'11 as well. Steven Adams,
Or
Jabari
above.
Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's we're trying to
it's
figure
just a
that out.
lot.
Yeah, it's just big man. So we had to start off with the double big, and Sengun was doing his thing, but I was very impressed with Chet. I feel like his jump shot is looking a lot smoother, and kind of just he looks a little more fluid. He looks healthy, and I'm glad that he was able to rest the preseason and not really have to worry about that because I
Yeah,
brought it up to you, bro. Like I forgot that. Well, we're pretty injured, and Caruso actually got injured. I don't know if you saw that. He's in concussion protocol right now, so that's another one of our rotation pieces out. But what Chet was able to do offensively, I think that kind of showed me his progression that he's made. I feel like that's something we've really been waiting for with Chet. Like we know what he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball and how impactful he can be. So it's like if he can elevate his scoring, and it was dope that KD was there. He was guarding KD, and KD was guarding Chet, and that's kind of
yeah,
like the similar type of mold. Obviously Chet more so a center, and KD more like a wing forward, but their offensive style is very like I would say Chet is like a raw version of KD, like not really as polished, but kind of lengthy that could dribble and kind of get to certain spots. So it was cool seeing
yeah.
that, and obviously they work out with each other in the off season, so
Exactly.
that's
I'm
dope.
saying.
But yeah, no, it's just very impressed with him, and then also AJ Mitchell. You texted me. We obviously been chopping it up about the games, and he was another huge contribution off the bench. I feel like that's
Sure.
been what we rely so heavy on throughout all last season, and the fact that we have another person that is able to step up in their role and kind of come into their own. AJ Mitchell was getting rotational minutes last year, but obviously
Yeah.
we had a pretty
Top minutes.
loaded bench. It was probably like 12, 13 on the bench. You know what I mean? Like he's coming off when it's a blowout, but
Right.
seeing him come in and get 16 points, bro, he's able to knock down a couple threes. I feel like that's really where he can help us and elevate us to where where we're at and where we're trying to get to, especially with all these injuries. That was incredible, and I think it's really just, bro, like what Shea has been doing and what he's proven to us,
Yeah.
the type of player he is. I think he had like 12 fourth quarter points, if I'm not mistaken, and I think leading up to then it was kind of like I wouldn't say he was in check because I feel like he was taking a lot of threes and he just wasn't making them. I'm pretty sure he was like 1 for 11 from three or something, but it's just always what his shot making ability, the mid range, Men Thompson on him, still hitting a contested jump shot. I think that's why he is one of the best players, why he's the reigning MVP and finals MVP of this league. He showed it to
Yeah.
us. I got hype. I don't know if y'all saw that
Respect.
clip, but oh
Yeah.
man, it was incredible, bro. And the fact that that was like first game of the season, like had no real like warm up games, and this is just right off of us winning a championship. Like it looks like he hasn't missed a beat, and no reason for me to think that he can't do what he just did. You know what I mean? Because he did it for a whole year, and we got to
Yeah.
that point. So the fact that he's still
Yeah.
hitting those type of jump shots down, being down J Dub, who I haven't brought him up, seeing his absence has really shown me how important he was. And that's not saying I didn't think he was important. I think it just shows me how much of an impact he has on our roster because there's moments in the game whenever went to go sit where our offense was trash, bro.
It's
Like
not good.
it's not
Yeah.
good.
It's
It
not
looks
good.
like really bad. Like obviously not don't really have like a playmaking player in that second rotation right now, and that's where Dub would be that option. But the fact that when like without him being down with Shea on a bench, yeah, it was bad. Like it looked like some
Yeah,
more Orlando Magic type shit, bro. Like
I was about to
we
say,
just
stuck in mud.
could not do anything. So that's very worrisome. But I think just what I was saying with Dub's absence, obviously I knew he was a great player. Just seeing this first game, obviously going against one of probably a top 5 defense in the league, right? So don't want to be too critical of the Thunder, but like it's the first game as well. But you know, I'm just thinking about it for the future
Yeah, of
games
course.
that are coming up. That's something that we're gonna have to work on because if Shea isn't in, who's going to be that other player to create for others? And I don't at this point, I couldn't tell you. Like it's gonna have to be like a Case and Wallace or like a AJ Mitchell. Like you know what I mean? Like that's
I'm
what.
gonna ask you a question. You think tomorrow when they play the Pacers, like it'll be more of like a just do it by committee thing? Because like you're saying, you don't really know who. So
Yeah,
it might be Wiggins popping off.
yeah,
It might be Case and Wallace. It might be Isaiah Joe. It
yeah,
might be.
yeah.
That's what makes the Thunder so dangerous.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think that's why I have high hopes for this season because that is what we did last year, and I think we could do that again this year to a different degree. You know, maybe not be as dominated by Shea or focus on just one player, one bench player here, one bench player. I think it's gonna be like legit everyone. Like there might be like players averaging like double digits type of thing, just because I think that's how it's gonna be spread out, especially right now with Dub being out. I think it's gonna help everyone's averages and shit. So like, yeah, I think it's gonna be by committee all year.
Mm.
Like you said tomorrow. Like I think Shea's gonna do what he does. Like I think he's probably gonna average like
Yeah,
35 and
yeah.
5, you know what I mean? Like maybe
Maybe
not.
more than
Yeah,
that. I'm
maybe
gonna
like
say maybe
33,
more.
like you know what I mean? But I think everyone else I think Chet is going to have an incredible year if he keeps up his offense ability, consistency. I think like, you know, he dropped 28 yesterday. Like that was incredible. Like I think that's getting overlooked and like I say his jump shot's
For
looking real
sure.
smooth right now and you know, didn't have the greatest defense game, but we know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
And
that's
for me, that's more so I kind of want to see what your offense looks like at this point of your career. So, you know, I'm not too stressed out, but yeah, no, nonetheless, Shea hits that jump shot, goes to overtime. First overtime, um, I think Shea's takes a shot with
I was
like
gonna say. Hey,
seconds. Shea takes a shot with seconds left on the clock. KD grabs the ball, clearly calls a
yep,
timeout.
yep,
Refs don't do anything about it. They review it. Nothing happens. It
yep.
just goes into the next overtime, and then
They're just like
obviously
pretend it didn't
pretend it didn't
happen.
happen. But crazy that boy KD had a Chris Webber moment, bro.
Whatever, yeah. He said
Crazy.
time out,
Sengun's
bro.
like,
Get out of here.
no, we don't have one.
He said no, no, no.
So it's
You know,
crazy, but you know, second overtime
crazy.
happens. It was bro, this whole game, like I said, was such an incredible game for it to be the
West
first
Coast
game of this
City.
season. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it was back and
unbelievable.
forth. Jabari Smith hits a three. I think they go up by 2, I believe. Or no, they go up by
Yep.
or is it 1?
One. I
1
think it was one.
because Shea comes down mind you, Shea, you know, he's at like a 90% career free throw point shooter.
Yeah, I had a bad night.
He had a bad night. He missed 4. So I think
Yep,
he missed a lot of those. I think he missed 2 in overtime, in either both overtimes or the second overtime. So, you know, we saw it. We saw the move. We saw what he did. You know, had KD in a blender a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think
for sure.
it was just it was great. You know what I mean? For everyone, I know everyone calls Shea a free throw merchant. You know, oh my gosh, what is he doing? It's unethical hoops, whatever, whatever. But that was clearly a foul. I mean, I feel like no one does argue that, but it's one of those where you know he made him jump. You know, you got to stay on your feet. So it's ended up shooting free throws, and it's crazy that that's how we win the game because he had that whole stigma, but ends up knocking them both down, and we're up 125 to 124. And then I think who ends up? Was it?
Was it who? Because Kevin Durant fouled out.
Yeah,
Because I know he was on 5, so he got his sixth foul. when Shea hit the
Oh,
shot.
it was Jabari Smith Jr. took a shot in the corner as time expired and ended up missing,
And it
and then
missing, yeah.
that was the game, bro. So incredible game.
Yeah,
It was one of the craziest games. I don't think we went to a lot of overtime games last year. So the fact that our first one of the year it was this against a potential Western Conference Finals opponent. You know what I mean? It's incredible. Like I think it showed a lot being down a man, not making your shots, getting out rebounded. We led the game. We led the teams in turnovers. I think it was 12-25. So that's obviously what our game plan is coming into every single matchup. But nah, man, it was incredible. Sengun. I think I told you if he keeps this up, he's gonna be all NBA type of season.
bro.
KD, we know what he's gonna do. He dropped 23 and he didn't even shoot in the fourth quarter, I believe. So
No,
that was very strange. And then Amen Thompson, bro. We talked highly of him, and I think he's living up to those talks. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he dropped
conversation.
18, and I think with him, bro, any type of get going downhill motion, he's one of the most athletic players in this league. It's hard to stop him. He kind of bodies people, and he's listed at a point guard, so Shea is usually guarding him, and that's you know, Men is a bigger forward, so that's a little bit of a tough matchup. Even when we switch, he's still kind of just athletic enough to get rise up to the rim. So
Yeah,
think like he definitely hasn't approved his 3-point jump shot. Not yet. Think that's gonna take time. Notice that was like the game plan, just leaving him open every time, and he was hesitant to shoot. And then when he shot it, he just wasn't making them. So that just showed me that that's a part of this game that he still needs to work on. But he's still young, and if you're still able to drop 18 without a 3-point shot, I think it just shows how talented and gifted of a player you are. So
yeah, exactly.
love this game,
Exactly.
bro. It was incredible. I think this is gonna be probably one of the better games of our season. We're gonna look back at it. Crazy
Yeah, for
first game
sure.
of the season. You remember when Shea hit that jump shot to go to overtime? Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games, bro. And had the homies chirping in my ears. Was also live, so it was cool. It was a cool moment for me because I feel like that was like the start of not even a new era, just trying to run back what already went well for us and seeing where that can take
Yeah,
us again this year. You know what I mean? So
I love
it
that,
was great,
bro.
bro.
Good for you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that energy. I mean, it being on NBC too. The intro
Yes.
to NBC was amazing. They're bringing back the finals court, by the way. Adam Silver heard your demands. All right, it was perfect. I mean, let's set the scene, man. Kevin Durant coming back to OKC. We know they did the ring ceremony. You did a great job of breaking down the game, but you know, Reed Shepard made an appearance, right? Like we ain't talked
Talk
about
about
him.
Reed,
I
yeah.
think he struggled a little bit. It was against a tough defense, but it is what it is. I think the Rockets' length, I mean, their height, I think they started the biggest starting lineup in NBA history. So the Thunder had to combat that all game. I think Shea started off really slow. He wasn't super aggressive. The Rockets did a really good job of taking him away. They did double a lot, which was interesting. They also went zone, which is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chet was the player of the game for me. You did a good job of explaining, but his offensive improvement is very clear. And if he can continue to shoot jump shots like this, bro, at this rate, like man, I think he'll make an All NBA team. But I think Kevin Durant, his first bucket as a Rocket was a dunk. So that was
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. But yeah, I think the pace of the game was really good too, man. They were getting up and down, like you brought it up. I think what was it? Did the Thunder force 25 turnovers, bro?
Yeah. 25,
My
yeah.
goodness. So yeah, 25 turnovers. Like if you see a team have 25 turnovers, they're most likely not winning that game, bro. So I think the Thunder defense is carrying over from last year. CJ made a comment on a short that we had recently, and people weren't really messing with it. But I do think the Thunder are one of the top 10 best teams of the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can clip it here, but their defense is just so great. I think they were able to keep pace offensively, and yeah, you got a great game down the stretch, bro. Like
Dude.
you said, I think the play that Shea made at the end of the game, bumping Amen and then hitting that mid range, it's just so storybook. He
Mm-hmm.
did that last year. I think that game. I, I forgot. I forgot. Was it game 6 when he
in the
had his like?
in the finals or
Yeah,
yeah,
it was in Indiana
it was in India.
when he had his Jordan
I
moment,
think
right?
it
Or was
was
it game
I
5?
think it was game 5 because I'm pretty sure they won game 6 to force a game 7. So
Okay,
it
it
was
was
game
J Dub who went off game 6,
um
or was it both of them game 5?
it might
Because
have
I think I
been.
have it. I think it was Shea 6, bro.
Was it Shea 6? So no,
Look it up for me because I don't want
I
to get it
okay, I
wrong.
got you.
What it was, he looked like that.
He
And I
was.
was like,
He
geez,
did
bro,
look
like
like
the
that. Yeah.
story good jump shot. And yeah, I don't want to get the game
I
wrong, but
got you.
like he did a similar motion in that game that he played, and it was really dope, bro. So I think the Thunder are such a complete team, and at this level, nobody can compete with them, guys. Like if you're listening to this right now, these other 29 teams in the NBA have to do everything possible. And this game was an example of that. If you watch this, it was such a banger, but all 29 other teams have to do everything possible to slow down the Thunder. Because the Thunder are winning these types of games down a man, down an all NBA type player, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So that like think about that. AJ Mitchell drops 16 points, ends up hitting 4 or 5 threes, right? You know, we see Lou Dort's defense being on full display. Cason Wallace, man, 4 steals, 14 points. Like, there's just a lot to like from this side. If you're a Thunder fan, you're really pleased. I think you guys are a little scared, probably. I know the Rockets spooked you. You know, you brought him up, but Şengün was performing at a really high level. I haven't seen him play that type of basketball yet.
Mm-mm.
So that was really cool to see. But yeah, I just think the Rockets came up a little bit short in that one. And, you know, Reed Shepherd, hopefully he gets his feet wet and he can figure out a way to be a more efficient scorer. I think, you know, if he hits a couple more threes, that game could swing differently. But yeah, the Thunder, they were able to take the W
Yeah.
in double OT. And yeah, they got it off. So
So I found it out. I'm looking it up. Sorry. Game 5 was the J Dub game. Game 4 was the game that
with
Shea
Shea.
went crazy.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
was
And game
back.
6 was just
Game 6
normal.
was India blowing us out in
I think in the fourth quarter, was it game 6 when he popped? When he went
Shea.
crazy yeah,
It
or was that
was.
game 4?
No, that was
Okay.
game 4. Game 4.
Okay.
He had like
Okay.
16 points or something like that.
Okay. Well, in game 4, he looked like how he was looking in game 4, fool. Just like pulling up, hitting the midi, and yeah, bro, it was a special night for sure. I mean, moving right along. So this game, for your information, guys, like I'm a Lakers fan, so this game ended up going into the Lakers game. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you were on Peacock, you had to you know, kind of mix and match there. Luckily, my girl has Peacock, so we were able to like dual screen it. And it was pretty cool. I ended up having the Lakers game on, and she had the Thunder game on.
Oh, nice.
Point is, yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, so we start off the game, right? Cool, whatever. I'm gonna bring him up. Jimmy Butler, man. I wasn't expecting that. He had a really good first quarter. I think it's funny because like I look at the Warriors roster and I'm just like, guys, I was talking about mess. I'm like, no way, this old ass roster finna come in cooking.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, bro. You know, yeah, bro. Like they're old, bro. I'm like, they're old news. Anyways, Jimmy Butler got to it immediately. I think he was really the tone setter in the first quarter, and that was something that I think you're gonna get a happy Jimmy. So that was really cool to see on that side. But I think Luka Doncic, right? For me, having LeBron James out, I really just wanted to see what Luka could bring to the table. And we know he starts off really well in the first quarter, and he ended up doing so in this last night's game. I think Luka is going to be our tone setter no matter what. You could argue the Warriors could use Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, depending on the night, but we know Luka Doncic is going to be involved early. So it was nice to see him get players involved. We know AR was there too. I was expecting Aiton to start off hot, and I'll get into him a little bit later, but that didn't end up happening. Obviously, if you guys saw the box score, he didn't have the best game, but it was interesting. The starting lineup, we ended up trotting out, I think it was Doncic, Reeves, Hachimura, Vincent, and Aiton.
Mm.
And so Gabe Vincent was able to win JJ's trust. I thought we would go with Vanderbilt, but we didn't end up going with him, which was fine. And I think that did hurt us in the first quarter just a little bit because Vanderbilt's defensive stature could have stopped Jimmy Butler. in that first quarter. And I think that's really where we ended up getting hurt. The Warriors scored 28 points to our 22. They got off to a 6 point lead. I think we were able to keep pace offensively due to Luka Doncic's brilliance. But moving into the second quarter, man, I think the flurry from Steph Curry. At this point, the Rockets Thunder game was kind of winding down, and I think it had finally ended. So I was able to fully watch by at this point. But Steph Curry, I think he had 12 points in the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken. This ended up being his best quarter of the game. It's kind of what boosted his scoring throughout because he ended up not shooting too well in the second half. But this quarter, man, he ended up getting it going. I think he did a back cut a few different times. And what I will say is he's really good with moving out without the ball. And that's something that the Lakers defense currently struggles with right now is just being able to keep track of guys on the court. We're going to get back cut a lot. Our communication isn't going to be great. And that's because we have a lot of new faces on the team. I kind of expect that. Curry was back cutting it. I think he hit a triple. But yeah, they were able to, I don't know, utilize their co-stars to get their team going. I think that seeing LeBron's absence is where we got hurt in the second quarter because I feel like whenever we have Bron in the lineup, we're able to do the yo-yo thing, kind of like how the Warriors were doing, putting Butler on the bench, letting Curry go out there and letting Gary Payton get involved, and then kind of putting in Jimmy Butler, letting Curry get a rest. And with Luka Doncic just out there and Austin Reeves, we couldn't really do that. I think in the second quarter too, Marcus Smart, baby. I haven't talked about him yet, but he started showing up as well. Drew a charge, scored a couple key buckets for us. And, I did want to touch on him a little bit. I think he's going to be here to stay. Me and CJ we're talking about this pre-recording, but, if Marcus Smart can be 70% of what he was in 2021, I'm excited to have him on this roster, man, especially on a veteran minimum. He's a pest. He's somebody who can score, 14, 15 points, like I was telling you. And he really showed me what he could do in that second quarter. And I honestly think he might deserve to start as well over Gabe Vincent. And it's not a slight against Gabe Vincent, but I think he's such a streaky shooter that depending on the night, you start him if he's hot. But like out the gate, I think JJ did make a mistake putting him in the lineup. But anyways, Marcus Smart was doing well. We saw Luka Doncic make a block on Al Horford. So for people who was talking mess about his defense, he does look in shape. So that is one thing that I wrote down in my notes. But yeah, the pace of the game was really good here. I think, I brought this up to you. We didn't do too bad defensively in the first half. For what it's worth, I think what's the number? Do you have it in front of you, or do I need to check? I don't. The amount of points they scored in the first half. Because I know we scored 33 points in the second quarter. Yeah.
They scored
like
50
something.
Yeah, 56 in the first, or 55,
yeah.
sorry.
55. Okay, so 55 points, right? So that's 110 points on average. If you're giving up 110 points per 100 possessions, like,
yeah,
you can do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up outscoring them in that second quarter because of Luka's brilliance again. Luka goes on a little flurry to end the second quarter. I think he hit 2 threes. He ended up getting an assist on another 3. I forgot who it was to, but watching Luka do all of the things that he did on the Mavericks, we knew that was coming. I brought this up to CJ. It's tough to have a Luka Doncic team because we know where the ball's going to be. So like everybody in the world knows that it's going to be Luka, and he was able to carry us through this that second quarter and get us some momentum going into the second half. But I haven't brought this up, but during that second quarter, I did notice, and mind you guys, I'm gonna be honest, full blown disclosure, I fell asleep. I was feeling sick. So after halftime, I fell asleep. I had to watch the second half of this game today. But I was watching the second quarter last night. I was looking at LeBron James, and I brought this up to you, man. Like, body language wasn't really there. Mind you, I think Luka had more points in the second half. But at this point, he's starting to cook now. Like, now he got, 17, 18 points, right? He ended up finishing with like 40-something. Okay, guys?
Cooking.
So, like, he was cooking in the second half. But, like, he's cooking now. I'm watching Bron, no reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of just clapping, right? And I was telling this to CJ, like, LeBron's a sciatica. He's got old man sciatica. For the kids watching, it's something when your nerves are pinched. His nerve is pinched in his butt, okay? You don't want to come back. That's cool. But This happened 3 weeks ago. The body language, oh, I'm not gonna rush back and blah blah blah. We need you out there, bro. We need you out there. We lost this game by I think it was 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James not being his best teammate in that moment does show something to me that makes me nervous because I brought up the Bronny James Jr. situation. That cat can't touch the court. You want to know why? He's an empty scorer who can't guard 1 through 4. So Bron's hurt. His son's healthy. His son not really playing, right? Like JJ might put him in every once in a while. Cool. But bro, if you're gonna be on the team and getting paid 50 million a year, you better stand your ass up and clap for Luca. Just because it may not be your team anymore, man. I know we need you out there, bro. But going into the second half, like with some momentum, I want to see some leadership from you, bro. And it wasn't there. So whatever, we go into the second half, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys too. The Warriors are historically one of the best third quarter teams that we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
You can go look up the stats, bro. I don't even need to pull them up, bro. They're for some reason they just have this feeling that they get in the damn third quarter. Anyway, so they start popping off. They ended up scoring 35 points in the damn third quarter, bro. Jimmy Butler's hooping, getting to the line. I think I was talking to you about this. They spent so much time in the bonus
Mm-hmm.
because we were fouling so much, bro. And to be honest with you guys, man, I think the Warriors' depth really started to show here. And I think that's kind of what made the difference in this game, bro. Like Buddy Hield, bro. I know you were talking about him. I haven't brought him up yet.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really hot 2024, 2025, and he was kind of quiet. Ended up, doing some things, right? And he gave the Warriors 17 points. Like the Lakers can't have that, bro.
Yeah.
We just can't have that because if Curry and Butler, we know they're probably going to score 25, 26 points. We can't give up 35 points in the third quarter, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the slowing really scored down. I think Luka was getting it going, bro, but just Ayton wasn't involved in the pick and roll. Austin Reeves was scoring the ball, but he just couldn't get his center to dive. I don't know. Ayton kind of looked lost in the
Mm-hmm.
third quarter, to be honest with you guys. I just think that we have to play way better defensively, man. I don't think we have any offensive issues, but the third quarter really proved to me, like, I guess, like how glaring our defensive issues really are. And I don't know if LeBron James is going to fix that for us, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if LeBron James being in the lineup would have made a difference on the defensive end, but I will say, obviously, offensively, he would have helped us keep pace. But it I'm watching Buddy Hield, I'm watching Al Horford, I'm watching Gary Payton. I'm just watching the Warriors' depth, and I'm realizing we don't have that. I wanted to bring up the bench scoring here. I think our bench, we didn't have a double-digit score that came off of our bench. And I'm not saying like, Laravia is bad or who else came off Jackson Hayes or Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart was close. I think he can be.
Mm-hmm.
But if he only gets 23 minutes, you know what I'm saying? He came out, he did it decently in the third quarter, but I think in the fourth was really kind of where we just kind of let go of the rope more so. I think we got it together. We cut it to 6 in that third. And then the Warriors were able to just extend it out. And what they do is they kill you in the third quarter and they kind of take, a back seat in that fourth quarter, but they were able to kind of withstand the punches that we had. Again, Austin Reeves doing well in the fourth. Luka doing well. I think we scored 30 points in the fourth quarter, but defensively we broke down again. And I think the way that the Warriors run their offense too, I had in my notes, but Steve Kerr just has a way of running offense that's just, I've never really seen it before, but Curry runs around all these screens. He has so many back cutters. There's so much off ball movement that it's just so difficult for us to stay with our guy. And we don't have a go-to defender right now outside of Marcus Smart, who doesn't even start. So we ended up losing this one 109, 119. Luka finished with like 43, 12, and 9. AR, I think he had, what was it? If I'm looking in the box, let's see. I think it was 20 something.
26, 5,
Yeah,
and 9.
26. So he was showing out. Yeah, I think we had a pretty solid offensive game, but we just don't have a ton of bench scoring, and I think that's what needs to be filled if LeBron James is going to be out. Because if we don't have anybody else who's scoring other than Luka and AR. It's going to be really tough for us to make an impact.
Mhm.
And at this point, it's when you're playing a real team like the Warriors who have depth, who have other players again on their bench like Buddy Hield or Gary Payton, or like people who can pop off and do well in a situation. It makes it really tough for you to build a complete game because now you have to worry about the defensive end. You're worried about who's going to be able to score on the offensive end. Like it's just too tough. If you don't have a real identity, then I don't know. And I don't think the Lakers have one right now, man.
Mm.
Like, I think the Thunder clearly they know who they are. They play on the defensive end, and then they play through Shea and their guys, right? But like the Lakers are just we know Luka's going to be here on offense, and then defense is kind of
Yeah.
like we'll try to figure it out and see what we can do. But giving up 120 points on opening night, no OT, it's not the greatest. I think we like I said, we only gave up 55 points in the first half, so we had a decent defensive showing there. But second half, we kind of let go of the rope and we ended up losing it. And I think I'm most frustrated with just like the body language and the poor defense. But I don't know. At this point, I don't want to waste Luca's prime years either, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching the game. I'm like, what type of roster is this?
Yeah. No, yeah, I legit
Honestly,
said
like,
that too, bro. I was like, man,
what type of roster is this? We got
this
like Laravia out there with AR and Doncic and Ayton. I'm like, these cats, like, they're not beating the Warriors, bro.
yeah. Yeah.
And I like Jake Laravia, man. He's 6'9". He's a good wing, but he gave you 6 points.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
that's legit what I was saying. I was like,
I know, bro. I'm
Braun's
sure you
out. Yeah,
were.
like I forgot like y'all's bench is pretty weak,
And
so where it is, who's gonna be that guy? And like you said, Marcus Smart
step
did a
up.
good job.
We don't have that committee. Like you're talking about AJ Mitchell, Casey Wallace, all these guys coming up, Caruso coming off the bench. Lakers got maybe Marcus Smart
Mhm.
and like maybe Jake LaRavia on like a good night. Sometimes Vanderbilt, but like it's not. We just don't know what
Yeah.
that picture looks like. I think our starting five is solid. I was gonna say I think I needed more from Roy Hachimura.
Mm.
I was talking highly of him, man.
Mhm.
I think he put up a like, bro.
Nine
I want to go to the box to make sure I get this right, but
9 points.
so he put up the threes. Like I said, we talked about this, CJ.
That's all
Shoot
he
more
shot was
threes.
threes.
Yeah, all he shot was threes. No, no. Like me and you were talking about it. Roy's got to shoot more threes. Cool, but don't make that your only
Only
guy.
thing, yeah. He needs to shoot at least like 12 shots a game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right? And bro, this 3 of 6 from deep again. That's 50%.
Yeah,
Like that's great.
that's
But
great.
where are your other 5, 6 shots, bro?
Yeah.
I seen him take those 6. He took 2, I think, in the first quarter. 4 the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So as like a fan, and like this is kind of a separate because I'm analyzing the game while trying to watch it. As a fan, CJ, I'm greatly disappointed with how LeBron looked and how our defense played. As an analyst, though, I will say Marcus Smart looks good. Luca looks great. He looks healthy, which we haven't talked about, but
Mhm.
he looks great. And if the if the Lakers can get LeBron James back, I think they'll be okay. They'll be a solid playoff team. I mean, I'm excited to see where this season goes. I don't know, bro. I wonder. I want to look at the schedule and see because I'm not sure when LeBron is due back. I know we play the Timberwolves next, and then I know we play the Kings.
Mm.
I just don't. I don't know if he might be back for. What you think? The next time we play the Timberwolves, maybe 10:30, end of
Yeah.
October,
Yeah. Like a
maybe.
you were saying that he was said that he's gonna take his
Gonna come
time,
back
right?
slow. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really know what that means
Means, yeah.
either.
Yeah. Because
Slow
he's
could
already
be
been
like
injured for 3 weeks, right?
right, but I'm like, all right, after this week, it'll be another
Mm,
week and then another week.
right.
Maybe that's slow a month. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that question's different. But like the game analysis, Stephen Curry, killed us in the second quarter. I think Jimmy Butler did a really good job of drawing fouls, and the Warriors' depth did a great job in the third quarter. We talked about Buddy Hield, but
Yeah.
ended up getting a couple triples there. And again, I think Buddy Hield is the type of player too. I didn't want to bring this up, but like he gets 4 or 5 triples. Like Buddy Hield is somebody who can shoot all threes, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But because if he gets 4 or 5 triples, we know Buddy Hield's going. Like we can give him the ball. So the Warriors have a really good identity. They know, like you said, they played Kuminga 30-something minutes. He looked great as well. Didn't talk about him a ton, but he started off the game with or I think it was in the second quarter. Sorry, but he had a corner triple. I'm like, well, there you go. You know, Kuminga's there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be there. I'm glad the Warriors got him back, but yeah, bro, as a fan, I'm not too happy. But as an analyst, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I'm not mad at one loss. Do I think we beat the Timberwolves next game? Yes. I think we can if we clean up the defensive end and hold. I think the Timberwolves offense is going to be worse though than last year. So that's like my hot take because they didn't get any better. And
Yeah.
I think Gobert only got older. Conley only got older. Outside of Ant and Randall,
Yeah.
who killed us in the playoffs, but like not really Ant, but Randall and
Randall.
Gobert. I just think we can beat the Timberwolves straight up. I know we're going on the road. We know Luka performs well in at Minnesota. We've seen what he could do, so I'm not too worried about it. I think like the Timberwolves defense, I'm worried about, but if AR can have and that was the question, right? In the playoffs, can AR do well against Timberwolves? The Timberwolves is a bad matchup for him. If he can figure out a way to manufacture 18, 20 points, and he can through the free throw line, we're gonna have a chance to win that game. And hopefully Aiton shows up, man.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it a ton, bro, but like just uh, for people hating on him, you were right. I'm still an Aiton believer. I think if we give him more opportunities and he can find some chemistry with Luka, this game will quickly be forgotten. But I'm like I said, I'm hoping for 14-10, and he did not give that to us yesterday. So if you're expecting that off the rip, I don't think you're gonna get it. I think it's gonna take some time to build that chemistry, and if he can't do it, he will be gone. Like we don't. I was gonna say that too. We don't have the time to like try to make this work.
Yeah.
Aiton's in a situation in his career where like if this thing doesn't work out, we'll take a fly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my main takeaway from the game was just where's DeAndre Ayton. You know, I think this is one of
Yeah,
those matchups where Warriors don't really have a big. They have Al Horford, but older, you know what I mean? He's a good
could have used
defender,
them.
but
Like we're saying, we should have
you
used them.
should be able to do a little more than what he was able to contribute last night. But I
Yeah,
think, it's his first game with them. I think it's trying to get acclimated to all the players, like you said, but I don't know. I still have a little bit of hope for him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's gonna
me too.
turn around his season, or turn around his path in somewhere along this
Some way,
season.
shape, or form, right?
But
Yeah, and like I want to go. We didn't do too well on the turnover. Like we barely. Sorry, we didn't do too badly on the turnover batter. Meaning we didn't lose it by that much. We only lost by one. Like we turned the Warriors over. The Warriors also turned the ball over a lot, though.
mm-hmm.
Just in
Yeah, let me
general,
see. Let me look.
I think it was 19-20.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep,
our free throws killed us too. So I mean, we shot 60% from the line.
that's bad.
Yeah, Luca's bad at shooting free throws. I guess that is the one part of his game that's just not there
Is
always.
he like a 70% free throw shooter?
Yeah, for his career or something like 74 or something.
Really?
It's it's not bad.
Say
It's
75.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But it's not like
It's just,
it
it's
that
not
that
elite.
that
It's not elite.
15 point jump, that shit makes
80,
a
yeah, and 80% would make a big difference
huge
if we could get
difference.
8 out of 10. Yeah, and he's
Interesting.
not hitting that right now. AR is our best free throw shooter on the team, without a
Mm.
doubt.
Yeah, man, it's
Tough,
First
tough
game of the
sledding.
season, don't want to overreact too much, obviously, but you got to base it
Of
off of
course
what we
not.
saw and what it speaks for itself, so we just come on here, chop it up, and think it's interesting. Feel like it usually is like this, like as of late, you feel like you still have your same gripes. Feel like what was happening last year
Definitely.
is kind of going on to this season, but it's a long season. We'll see where everyone ends up, bro, by the time we get into postseason. But
Yeah, I was gonna say by the time June come around, we gonna see who's standing,
mhm,
and these glaring issues or strengths, weaknesses, like they'll come to the forefront.
mhm,
You can run, but you can't hide.
yeah,
Shout out the Lakers, man. It's still LA forever.
yes, sir.
Well, snap. Let's break it down real quick. Let's break down the slate for these boys and slide out and watch some basketball.
Bad. So, like I said, we're recording. It's 8 right now. The 6 o'clock games are wrapping up, but we have the Cavs versus Knicks. Both teams are a bit banged up. The Cavs are without
Yeah,
Darius Garland and Max Struess, while the Knicks are missing Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson, and Cat is questionable. I think
he
he
went.
went.
Did he
Yeah,
end up
yeah.
going?
Key
Okay.
storylines: can Cleveland's depth step up without its starters, and will New York's revamped roster overcome early season illness/injury to build momentum? As of right
Yeah.
now, that looks like a really good game. It's about to be the fourth quarter, and it is 87-86. Knicks are up. This is my
A banger.
potential Eastern Conference Finals prediction. So,
Preview.
like you said, definitely want to watch that. But yeah, no, I think I haven't even looked at the stats, but kind of what I
Yeah,
was
neither.
assuming, kind of going into the game. I thought it was gonna be a little bit higher scoring. I mean, it's not even, no one's broke 100 going into the fourth
Better
quarter.
offenses, yeah. Me
But I
too.
think it just kind of shows, that Eastern Conference. I feel like that's always very
The
defensive
king.
battles for some reason. It's kind
Yeah.
of crazy how that works. But I'm assuming Brunson's doing his thing. Haven't Like I said, I haven't checked, but Spida going crazy. I think Emob is gonna be the difference maker. Like I said, I haven't looked at anything. Don't know the stats, so don't know what he got. But that's who I'm assuming is gonna be. One of the game changers of this matchup. And I think Cat's gonna carry on what he had going on last season, averaging like 13 rebounds a game, scoring like 25 points. I think he's going to bring this coming into it. Obviously, it's a little low scoring, so someone isn't scoring. I don't know who it is, but yeah, that's kind of my little bit of
Your
predictions, kind
thought?
of, yeah,
Yeah,
thought process, kind of
I
seeing
love
that
it.
matchup.
Yeah, Coach Mike Brown too. I didn't put it in the outline, but first game coaching, we'll see the types of schemes he draws up and things like that. You did a good job of bringing up Evan Mobley. I think Lonzo Ball would probably make an impact. Hitting threes and making sure. Really, what it is getting guys involved with the assists, right? We know Lonzo's always been that type of guy, and Donovan Mitchell in the Garden, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, you can't really ask for more. I think Donovan Mitchell's like one of the best scorers we have in the league. It's just like he gets that hate that he's not that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I think he goes out there and tries to prove it. But yeah, I was expecting some fireworks in this game,
Me
especially
too.
if Cat ended up going. It's more of a defensive battle as of right now. I think CJ and I will try to do a better job to like get these out as they come.
Mm-hmm.
But like currently in the game right now, I feel like the difference will be Evan Mobley, and I'm going with the Cavs on this one. I know they're missing DG, but the storyline for me is just seeing how Mike Brown changes the minutes. We heard McCall Bridges is just like was talking a little bit of mess about the coach Tom Thibodeau last season, and he's playing me too much. But we'll have to see how he juggles the minutes this season. And so far, so good. I think they're in a competitive game for a reason. Both of these teams match up very well, and we're wishing them the best of luck. Me and CJ are not Knicks or Cavs fans, but we think this could be a Eastern Conference Finals preview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spider has 29 right now going into the fourth, so
Ah, there it is.
that's the game changer. Ananobi has 15, Brunson 18, 4 for 15 from the field, and 9 for 9 from free throws.
There
Cat
he goes.
Cat double 12-10 going to the fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good game, man. Good game. Going on
can't
to
complain.
going to the next one, Nets versus Hornets. Both teams are full go. The Nets the Charlotte Hornets meet at 6 p.m. with everyone arriving surprisingly healthy. No injured players currently listed. Key
Yeah.
storylines: while MPJ and Cam Thomas can be enough scoring for. Oh, sorry. Will MPJ and Cam Thomas be enough scoring for the Nets roster? Can Charlotte keep LaMelo healthy for more than 50 games and finish over 500 this year?
That's a good question. I think seeing LaMelo Ball play the Nets is interesting, right? We know MPJ is in a prime position to go off, but I think for me, watching LaMelo Ball will be really key here. I want to see if he can stay healthy, and I wonder if he'll play back to backs. I think games like this is, I think, what kind of hurts him is because he kind of overplays against the team like a Nets. They're not the Thunder,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's opening night. I get it, right? These teams are pretty competitive. I would say it's a pretty evenly matched. Wouldn't you agree?
Hmm.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
he's gonna go probably play 35 minutes. We haven't checked the box score again, mind you. We're just talking freely here, but I have the Hornets winning and by a pretty comfortable margin. One, I think the Nets are trying to sell this season, but two, I just think the Hornets are a better team overall. Brandon Miller, no injuries, right? Con Canapel, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, like I think that team should go ahead and beat the Nets pretty easily.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the main question that we've all been asking is, can
Oh
LaMelo
yeah,
be healthy? So I think, like you said, you brought it up. I think that's a great point that I think the Hornets need to really ask themselves as well. Should LaMelo play back to backs? Because, we see a lot of, like the Zions, the Embiids of the world, like kind of doing that later on in their career. If you could get, LaMelo's been in the league for like 5, 6 years, but if you could get ahead of that and not have him take such a toll on his body for just wanting to play back to backs, like I get it, you want to play games, but for if it helps your longevity of your career and of your season, really at this point, that's all that we're really asking for. I think it's a
right.
great a huge thing that they need to think about, honestly. But if he is, I mean, we talked about it, bro. We talk about the Hornets pretty highly. We love LaMelo the way he plays around here, and I think with him, it's just health, bro. Just stay healthy. Him and
Oh
Brandon Miller, I
yeah,
just want to see y'all healthy for 65 games at least, bro. I want to see y'all be able to meet that requirement so y'all could qualify for these awards and stuff, because I think y'all have the potential to be one of the most exciting young backcourts, So, but yeah, no, I agree.
100%.
Nets, like you said, MPJ. I don't think
Yeah,
they're gonna win this game. I think MPJ could have like
30.
a great season. I think he has the green light. He has opportunities there, and I don't think he's not shy to shoot that ball. So I think with him, it's just figuring out how they're taking the season. So I don't think really winning's gonna be a lot in their future. But I think with a lot of their young guys, development is something they are hopeful for.
Yeah,
So
Igor,
Igor,
Danny Wolf.
Danny
Yeah,
Wolf, a lot of those, was it 5 first round picks or something like that?
yeah. They
So,
have a what is it, Traore?
Yep, Nolan
Yeah,
Traore.
they have Nolan Traore. Like they got a couple guys on that roster.
Yeah,
It's
so
pretty
it's
interesting.
just seeing who's gonna hit, who's gonna be your cornerstone pieces to your franchise, and
Right.
I think like you said,
Oh,
that is a great game. They're pretty evenly
yeah.
matched, but I think Hornets are gonna win as well. I think they're just
Nets fans. I was gonna skip over you. Thank God for CJ.
go. I
That's
got you.
funny.
Going on to the next one, man. The Battle of Florida, Heat versus Orlando Magic. The
Yes,
Heat will
sir.
be without Tyler Hero and Jakin Chonis.
Yeah, yeah.
That the
Casper's
Yeah,
Uconis.
you could
Yeah,
the rookie Khalil Ware is
yeah.
questionable. The Magic are
We
without.
apologize, brother. I'm
Sorry,
sure
yeah,
you're cool.
yeah, you're a great
Yeah.
guy. The Magic are. I think Suggs is playing actually, but I think Wagner is out. But
Okay.
some key storylines: can Adebayo lead the Heat's offense against the Orlando Magic? How much of an
Yeah.
impact will Desmond Bain make on Orlando's offense? Um, Y'all know
Yeah.
me. I'm the Magic guy here. I would say that's like my second favorite team in the league. It's my Eastern Conference favorite team. Let's just say that. Um, but yeah, I think Desmond Bain is going to make a huge difference. I obviously not looking at the stats and stuff, but I bet my play of the day for the 3-man Wii fans, bet responsibly, of course. Two and a
Yeah.
half 3 pointers made. he hit 2 in the first quarter. Let's hope he makes another one, because if not, that would be tragic. But I think just him being able to space the floor, him be able to create shots as well, his playmaking, his shot creation, it's exactly what the Magic have been missing. I think being one of the better defensive teams already, and then you're also bringing in someone that isn't a slouch on the defensive side, but also is one of the better scorers in this league too. Pretty efficient, is a 40% from three, 40% from
Type
field
of guy,
goal. Yeah,
yeah,
type of guy. I think that's kind of what to expect from him. I don't really have a reason to think he is not going to translate. And with the
yeah,
Adebayo thing, if he can lead the Heat offensively, I think it's harder for, he has the capabilities. He's good in the mid range. I think with him, it's just his aggressiveness. Hopefully, with Tyler Hero being injured out for, was it a month? I believe he's out for. Um, he's gonna have to
yeah.
be that, because there's no one really else on that roster that is going to be as reliable. Obviously, they have Davion Mitchell, they have Andrew Wiggins, they have Jaime Jaquez
Norm
Jr., they
Powell,
they have Norman Powell, but I mean, it's without him, I think he's going to be the engine of it. You know what I mean? He may not be the one getting the ball all the time, but if Bam is doing good, if
Bam,
he's
yeah,
cooking, then that's when everyone else is gonna be able to eat as well.
like that.
It's gonna be his aggressiveness, though. I feel like it's something that we've talked a lot about. I feel like there was moments last season. I think in the postseason, we saw bits and pieces of him having that aggression. It's like, man, Bam is a really good scorer, but he just doesn't do it
Yeah,
all the time. So that's my main question. If he can keep his aggressiveness up, then yes, I think he can lead the Heat to victory over the Magic. But I think the Magic are just going to be a little too much for them. I think with the defense
yeah,
that they had in this past season, and addition of Desmond Bain, and year what 3 of Paolo and Franz, I think it's gonna be a hard matchup. They're the little brother on the in the conference that is actually starting to get really good. Giving me glimpses of like a Thunder team that's on the come up, building up their identity, and just building on top of that with a rising all star in the league that has another duo, like a co star. So I think it's, me, Z. I've been high on the Magic, bro. So I talk highly of them. But for all the new audience, man, yeah, I've been locked in with them for these past couple of seasons. I've been seeing what they've been doing. I'm super
fair
excited for their
enough.
season, bro.
Yeah, you got to talk highly of them. They're a super solid team. I think, yeah, this one's interesting for me. No hero, like you said. I think the Heat should play through Bam, and I think Khalil where it ended up going. I
I
think.
think so.
So yeah, I think he's out there on the court as well. He's another really interesting guy that they can utilize too. And yeah, I mean Norman Powell can score. He's one of the. There's a reason that the Heat signed him. They knew that they could utilize him in moments like this. But like CJ said, I just think the Magic's defense is too much, and think they were giving up less than 110 points, or no, I think it was like 112 points per 100 possessions. So again, a really, really good defense
Hmm.
in the league. So Paolo, Franz, adding Desmond Bain into the picture. The reason he's there is to bomb up threes. Hopefully he gets some up. I think that bet will cash for you. But very interesting matchup. If you are a Heat or a Magic fan, I know you're very excited about this one. And this one should be wrapping up pretty soon here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it, and I'll take it over to the 6:30 ones because
Yeah,
I
go
know
for it.
that they already started as well. First game at 6:30, so we got none other than the Raptors and Hawks. I don't think Atlanta had any current injuries, which is good. We know they have Kristaps Porzingis, who's the king of missing time,
Hmm.
and Toronto, I think is going to be missing CMB and then Jacoby Walter. So a couple of those dudes, unfortunately, Colin Murray Boyles' debut will have to wait. I think he's going to bring a ton of athleticism and defensive intangibles to that roster. But hey, can Trey Young and company do it, right? You were pretty high on Trey Young and
Yes,
the
sir.
Hawks this season. I am as well. I think with everyone available, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Jalen Johnson, can their depth really rise to the occasion here and showcase, what's going on for the Raptors? I think their win total is really, really high this year. And I think it kind of speaks to the success that, Vegas is predicting that they'll have, but the analysts are predicting that as well. And I think the Raptors, we went through their roster in the apron, number one. Number two, really top heavy roster. I think they have some depth. Grady Dick, again, Collie Martin Boyles, hopefully, OJ Abaji. They have a couple other dudes, but Brandon Ingram's got to be the guy here, bro. And so
Hmm.
does Scotty Barnes. If Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram can both stay healthy, I think this game is another close one. These two teams, when healthy, fully healthy, and honestly, Colin Murray Boyles is a pretty big out here. So I'm not going to say the Raptors are fully healthy, but these two teams are going to match up very well. I think there's a ton of length on both sides. Pause. But I think there's big forwards on both opposing teams. Brandon Ingram, I'm just excited to see his scoring ability and what it's going to look like on the Raptors specifically. And then can RJ Barrett, we brought him up, but in the offseason file, can that third fiddle, can he fit in? Because if not, he'll probably be that trade piece. But I'm excited to see what RJ Barrett can do as well. So I think this matchup will be special. And we know Trae Young, he's gonna have his 12 assists, 24 points, whatever. It's just Jalen Johnson, Chris Stapps. I got to peep the box score of this one, bro, because I'm excited.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, I'm super high on the Hawks as well. I think with them this offseason having one of the better off seasons in the league, I think high hopes for them, especially with the East being down. And this is going to be a great test for them. Toronto is a fringe play in team, I would say. You
Yeah,
know what I
play in
mean?
playoff.
Like
Yeah,
they're in that rumblings, and if they could figure it out, and with their three guys that we said, but really four, IQ, RJ, Scotty, and Bi. That's a great starting four. However you want to build it out, but think it's going to this game is going to show me who is the guy for them? Obviously we think
yeah.
Bi is that guy, but we know how high they are on Scotty as well, and his playmaking ability. It's just more so his offense scoring ability. He's a great all around player, but when it's gonna come into the big moments of the game and who's gonna get you a bucket, it's probably more than likely gonna be Bi. So excited to see what that looks like. Trae Young, you brought him up, one of the best passers in the league, if not the best, and having a fully loaded roster now. I feel like this is his best roster he's had as a whole, and having Porzingis, having Nah now coming off the bench, Jalen Johnson's healthy, Dyson Daniels coming off his all defensive team last year. I
Oh
think
yeah.
he's in a perfect position. I'm excited to see what that looks like. And he's proven to us every single season that he just gets his other guys involved and makes them better that are on his team. So I think this is gonna be a close one, bro. I'm kind of leaning Hawks for this, so we'll see how it looks. Haven't looked at the box, but it's gonna be one of those like you definitely got to check that out at the end
Yeah,
of
you
the
gotta
night.
check it out. Yeah, I obviously me and you will be doing three man sometimes on Wednesdays, but I'll try to go back and watch what I can. I won't be able to catch every single game of every single team,
Yeah.
obviously, but like we'll do our best. Moving right along though, same time, 6:30, 76ers versus Celtics. I think this is one of the games that I wanted to watch personally. Excuse me. 76ers are without Paul George, Jerry McCain, and Trenton Watford. We know the Celtics are without Tatum. He's out for the season. And then Jalen Brown was questionable, ended up playing. So he is in the lineup currently. Hey, bro, for me, it's like, can the Sixers lean on Embiid, add Maxey and VJ to really carry the scoring? I think Paul George is great, but there's a reason that they drafted VJ Edgecombe so high, and I think they're banking on him being one of the better picks and being able to play through him. And I think one of the reasons they drafted him was for situations like this, because unfortunately Paul George hasn't been the most reliable, and they're already paying him a max contract. But if that core right there, Embiid, Maxey, and VJ can gel, bro, I think the sky's the limit for the Sixers. And ultimately, it's just if Embiid can stay healthy, but we've talked about that at nauseum. Um, Leaning to the Celtics, though, like I think seeing what Jalen Brown can do as like the solo all star, you could say, will be interesting. And like, can their defense still be good? I worry that the Celtics won't have a top 10 defense this year. That could
Mm.
be a hot take, whatever. I know Joe Mazzulla's a defensive first guy, but I don't know, losing Horford, no Tatum, so they're down another wing. Like I just see them struggling. I also don't think Simons is a plus. Pritchard is not a plus on defense. Like
Mm.
there's it might
It
be easy
might.
to score against the Celtics. Yeah,
Yeah, I
bro.
like that. I like
So
that's a good take.
those were the two. Yeah, those were kind of the storylines for each team right there.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I think we saw a little bit glimpse of what VJ was able to do in that first quarter. So I think what you said is living up to it. I never doubted him, but I think it's just seeing it in the league, bro. I think that's the thing with becoming
Yeah,
a
the
professional
NBA. Yeah,
athlete, coming to the professional leagues. It's just
NFL.
different.
Right.
You have to kind of prove yourself, and then once you're there, then you're gonna
You're good.
you're
You're
good.
good
But
forever.
yeah, no,
Yeah, you
it's
crossed the
just
bridge.
great just being able to see him do that. But like you said, it's the Celtics might have a bad defense this year. I never thought about that, bro. That's a great take. That's some people may think it's a hot take, but I think that's a really good take because they lost a lot of players. They're already down Tatum, and then obviously Brown is gonna probably more so be a lot
Offensively
offensive.
focused.
Exactly,
Right.
like he's gonna be their engine this season. Then Peyton Pritchard, like you said, not a plus. Derek
Simons
White
is not.
is, but
Yeah.
Drew Holiday. Oh, Drew Holiday's not on the team. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Holiday
Holiday
gone.
gone. Yeah, he's on Portland. Wow. But yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited for their season because I feel like they're in that weird spot of
Yeah, we just don't
do
know. Right.
you yeah, what do you obviously y'all are professionals. Joe Mazzulla is your coach. You're probably not gonna tank, but
Nah.
are you are y'all is it worth y'all making the playoffs or should you just
Bring up
try to
a
get a
great
lottery pick?
question. If the Celtics do lose 30, 40 games, they're tanking. My goodness, CJ.
Like you
I
might
didn't
as
think about
yeah,
it.
you might as well at
Yeah,
that point.
if Brown gets hurt or something, they're done.
Oh, they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah. That's like something like that. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, if they'll just pull the plug.
yeah.
Oh man. I didn't even think
And
about that.
that might
But
be like
yeah.
a blessing in disguise for them, bro. They
Yeah, I
they they
didn't.
get a lottery pick. They end up being a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I just hope that that doesn't happen
They get
because I didn't even think about that. I'm a Lakers fan. I don't want the Celtics to be good at all.
no, not
That's
at
like the
all.
last team. So you bringing that up, man, just kind of put an idea in my head. Like they have that in, bro. Yeah. So Brad Stevens has that in his back pocket, bro.
Mhm.
If Jalen Brown gets hurt or if somebody else go down and we can't really win games, we're pulling the plug
Yep.
because we're gonna get our
We're
pick.
gonna get our pick. We're gonna tank whatever we
Yeah.
get.
Wow, CJ. Yeah. So hopefully they can win some games. I want to see the Celtics be competitive and not go to the lottery, but I'm an LA fan, so take it
With a
how you
grain of
will.
salt.
Okay. Yeah, with a
Yeah.
grain of salt, right?
Fair, fair.
Um, yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it is crazy, right? Like they really could do that.
They could
So
do
that's a
that.
good point. But I think moving on to the 7 p.m. ones, I'll do the first one. You can do the next two.
But,
But Pistons, Bulls, Detroit, bro. I mean, does Chicago have Kobe White today?
no.
Okay, so he was out, and then they're missing Zach Collins. He fractured his leg, so that sucks from the Spurs. And then Detroit is missing Jaden Ivey, who you know hasn't played in so long.
Yeah.
Detroit's been waiting for him to show up. Ended up having an arthroscopic knee procedure. My
Mhm.
goodness, it's a massive mouthful. And then Marcus Sasser might be hurt. So yeah, I mean, those I think that's kind of a loaded injury report, if I'm
Mhm.
going to be honest. Like Jaden Ivey and Kobe White are pretty important players to the game. Outside of that, though, moving on to Chicago's key storyline, I think Josh Giddey in the reshaped backcourt, right? I don't think we'll see it tonight because it's not fully complete. But I think Giddey's going to get Buzeli's involved. We're going to see Vucevic do his thing. We know what the Bulls roster is. And, I'll be honest with you, CJ. Who are they? They're ninth or 10th seed.
Yep.
And
They're
we
they're
know that they're,
solidified playing team damn near every
I was about
year.
to say, bro, solidified plan, and that's exactly where the Bulls will probably be right back this year. So I'm proud of them for continuing to stick on track with what they're doing, and hopefully they show up. Though, I don't want to hate on them. They have some interesting young pieces, bro, and I think they ended up taking who was it? Who did they get in the draft this past year? He's really good. It wasn't
Uh
Asa Newell.
no, Noah Singday?
Yeah, Noah Essengay.
Essengay.
Awesome. Thank you. Good pull. But he's awesome and he should have a really good debut. He should be wearing his debut patch. Moving on to Detroit though. I mean, hey bro, I think Cade Cunningham's arrived. We know that they've added a couple new pieces, Duncan Robinson, right? I don't think Malik Beasley's on the roster, if I'm not mistaken.
He's not on any
Um,
roster right now.
yeah, he's not on any roster right now. But again, the team around Cade, will they be able to handle it and help him with the scoring duties? I think Jalen Duren's taken a massive step forward. And then, yeah, I mean, not having Jaden Ivey in the lineup hasn't seemed to hurt them a ton, but
Mhm.
that was with Malik Beasley there and, Schroeder, right?
Yeah.
So they had a couple other pieces that they don't have today, but I think Cade Cunningham's going to spearhead that offense. And defensively, they should still be great. I mean, Osar Thompson, the Thompson twin that's never talked about, he's still there.
Facts.
And he's
Yeah.
still really good.
Still an elite
He's really
defender.
good on defense. Yeah, he's not as good offensively, but he's still an elite defender. So
Hmm.
I think they have a couple interesting storylines to watch, but this one isn't my favorite, to be honest with you guys. But we'll watch Cade and see the highlights for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, bro. I think this for me, this is the Cade versus Giddy show. You know what I mean?
There you
What
go.
is Josh Giddy coming off of his contract extension? What is he gonna look like? Is he a franchise cornerstone piece for the Bulls? You know, like what does that look like? What does that translate to
Yeah.
for a whole season? You know, Kobe White being injured, that was kind of his co-star, someone that he's his running mate that is with him all season that can shoot pretty well. So that's kind of where their
Oh, man.
3-point making ability comes from is him. So
I'm trying.
who else is going to step up? Who's going to be the player to do that for the Bulls? Because I feel like that's kind of where they lack a lot is the 3-point shooting. No one consistently, they have Matas, who's a great prospect coming into his sophomore
Yeah,
year.
he's awesome.
Probably one of the more versatile scoring rookies that we had in
Forward,
this
yeah.
forwards that we had in this draft and this past draft. But no, yeah, that's really what it is for me. The Bulls, and then like I
Yeah.
said, Pistons, bro. Cade, it's Cade and
Yeah.
bro. We trying to see what he could do this year. I think a lot of people were surprised at what he did last year. I'm not.
Right.
I
They're no
wasn't that
longer
surprised. I know. I was well aware of his ability. I think it's just seeing
the
it on the
same.
stage, and he has another year under his belt coming to this year. Being on the All NBA team this past season, I think he can do it again. You know what I mean?
I
I
agree.
have no reason for me to think why
I
otherwise.
agree.
And I think the Pistons, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see what they could do without Jaden Ivey in the lineup. And Malik Beasley was such a huge offensive player for them this past year. You know, who could be that player to step up for him? I know they got Luke Kennard.
Hmm.
They got other players that
Duncan Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, so it's
Duncan, yeah.
Duncan Robinson. Yes, I was like Mitchell Robinson. No, he plays for the Knicks,
There you go. And he
but
can't shoot.
he
We know
can
he
shoot.
can't shoot.
But they got some shooters around Cade. They're
For
gonna be
sure.
good on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's a recipe for success for them in the East. You know, it's gonna be can they replicate their season last year? And if even if they
For
don't
sure.
replicate it, stay in that same range. I think let's just get in the experience for these young guys, like you said, Asar Thompson, the Thompson
Yeah.
twin that does not get talked about. That's
Never
crazy. I
talked
like
about,
that.
huh?
He is one of the better defenders in this league as well. So they have an
For sure.
identity. I think it's kind of like where how the Thunder are in a sense where we're good on the defensive side of the ball. We have one guy that we like run our offense through, and it's just kind of figuring out
Who else can
who
be?
else can
Yeah.
be the other guys. So that's what they're trying to figure out. But I think they did a great job as well this offseason, kind of building around him, and they are locked in with him being their guy for the year. So super excited to
Tennessee for a
see
while, yeah.
what they end up looking like. But like you said, one of the more boring games for the most part. But you can see Cade and you can see Giddy, so it's not too bad. But going on to the next,
Like Detroit and Chicago got some loyal fans, man.
they
So
do.
we see y'all, man.
Yeah, of course, of course. Going on to the next 7 o'clock game, Pels versus the Grizzlies. Memphis is missing guards Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen Jr. and center Zach Edey. New Orleans will be without Dejounte Murray, forward center Kevon Looney, and center Derek Queen. Key storylines for the teams. Memphis will look to veteran stars John Morant and Triple J. to set the tone
Yeah.
offensively, and New Orleans will attempt to exploit those front court vulnerabilities and build early momentum using guard/forward play.
Zion right here. I mean, this is his time a
This is
little bit, right?
Zion.
Like you just said, you exploit the front court. This is where he can abuse people in the paint. So we'll see. No Zach Edey. Yeah, just Ja Morant, right? In that storyline. DeJounte Murray not being in the lineup kind of puts a lot of pressure on the Pelicans' up and coming guards. Jeremiah Fears and Trey Murphy step into that role and they say, "What's up?"
Yep.
You know, I'm excited to watch Jeremiah Fears, dude. I know you are too. And
Hmm.
hopefully Jalen Wells shows up, man. But I think Jaren Jackson Jr. getting that extension is going to make him a lot happier. We should see an improvement from him too. But I
Hmm.
know, honestly, if you're an avid watcher of listener/watcher of Three Man Weave, we love you, by the way.
Facts.
You guys are constantly listening. We know you guys know we speak highly of Triple J, so like his improvement wouldn't be a shock. I just think having Jaw on that lineup with Jalen Wells, GG Jackson too, who's healthy, he's pretty good. We'll see what those guys can do. But New Orleans, bro, they're in such an interesting spot because they could be so good, but I just don't know if they'll be able to put it together. And the Grizzlies are like a pretty good team, so
Yeah.
I think this one will be interesting. This is one of the ones I wanted to watch, low key.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when we did the off-season files, shout out to Z for getting that idea and for us keeping
Oh
up with
yeah,
the league even when
and
the
up with it.
games weren't on. But when we did the ones for the Pels, bro, it just made me think like their roster is good. Like, we're looking at it. We're looking at the salary cap. We're looking at, everything, all their picks and whatnot. And they are not a bad team. I think they're just super unlucky. Their star player always gets injured, or star players are injured, or key signings for the season. So we have never really seen them healthy. And I feel like the times that we have seen them healthy is when they make the playoffs. They're usually like an 8th seed, but that's making the playoffs nonetheless. And they're at that point, I think that's all Pelicans fans really want at this point, is to be competitive. But you just never see Zion healthy, or you don't never see his co-star that is healthy with him for a full season. So I think coming to this season, excited to see what that looks like. I think Zion's gonna have a huge year if he plays
Yeah,
meets
I
the game's
agree.
requirements. I think he's gonna
I
be
agree.
like an all-star type player. So, and then with the Grizzlies, bro, I think it's the same old story, bro. No Desmond Bain, and now it's just Ja and Triple J. So what is that gonna look like? Who's gonna
Yeah,
be your third scorer? Who's gonna be that next man up if you or Triple J and Jaw aren't getting it done? Who's gonna be able to step into that role? Obviously, Scottie Pippen Jr. is out for I think a month, and he was a huge spark for them off the bench in this past postseason, going against us, and really just leading up to the postseason. Um, and then Zach Edey being injured, I feel like that's a huge hole that they're gonna have to fill. Um,
oh, 100%.
because is Santi Aldama their starter now?
I was gonna say, and but he's also that's why he's so good,
Yeah,
bro, because
he's
he
pretty
can
he's
play
pretty
and like do
versatile.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
just with Edie though, obviously he's a different type of center, right? He's a bigger body, clogs up the paint, it makes it harder
yep.
for Zion to be able to score. I think this is
Off threat.
a interesting matchup for it though. I think
Yeah, it's a good one, bro.
I,
This is a banger.
I was about to say, I'm
Honestly.
gonna go Pels, bro. I think Zion's gonna have a huge game. I think he's gonna drop
I'm gonna
like
go.
30.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with you too, bro. And I'm gonna say it's Jeremiah Fears and Trey Murphy.
Okay. It's more
Not even. It's
it's
not
not even
even like
Zion.
Zion, of course. Well, but no, like
Of course.
yeah,
Of
but
course.
but like man, you know what I'm saying? I think like you're saying, they need some guys to show up because they don't have everybody here.
Yeah.
So they need some dudes to shoot some threes and be aggressive. And like you're saying, bro, I think the Grizzlies might be a little shell shocked. There was a reason they traded away Desmond Bain. Maybe their front office saw something me and CJ didn't with GG Jackson and Jalen Wells. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah.
We just know they got the picks and they don't have Desmond Bain no more. So I think this one will be a good matchup. Like I'm of the belief the Pelicans take this one too, man. So we'll have to see how it ends up panning out. I know it started an hour and a half ago, so we'll see.
Yes, sir. Going on to the next one. Wizards and Bucks.
Ah,
You wanna talk about that
ah,
one?
I will say this. I will say this. Wizards fans, watch Trey Johnson. I think the storyline for me is like Cam Whitmore. what we got, who's going to be scoring there. We know CJ, Chris Middleton, cool, but I just want to watch Trey Johnson and Alex
Sorry.
Sarr, watch his development, cool. Hey, Milwaukee, you guys better hope. You guys better hope Giannis is still on your team in 50 games. That's all I'm going to say. The roster's pretty bare bones. KPJ, hopefully he can go out there do his thing. Kyle Kuzma, right? I think Bobby Portis will have a good game, but yeah, I'm passing.
Yeah, that's one of
You
those.
can
Like,
pass.
I just even want to. Alex Sarr,
Yeah,
shout out to you, bro. I hope you have a great season. Trey Johnson, UT's finest. I hope he balls out. More excited for the Wizards than I am the Bucks, to be honest. At this
I was
point,
gonna say I'm betting Wizards here. No cap.
yeah. Giannis doing his thing.
But take Wizards.
But I'm going with the Wizards, bro. Going into the next one, 8 o'clock game. So these ones just started not too long ago. Clippers versus Jazz.
This is a good
The
one.
Clippers will be without Jordan Miller due to an illness. The Jazz won't have Collier or Georges Niang for this matchup tonight. Key storylines: can Ace Bailey score well against a good defensive team? Can the Clippers overcome their age and play with tempo? Can Bradley Beal, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard coexist?
Pretty simple questions. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that too much. I think the Ace Bailey thing for me is more interesting than the Clippers side because
Mm,
I think like they're kind of again LA team. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm like I don't want the Clippers, Rockets, the Spurs, and the Celtics to do well, but that's cool. I think the Clippers will get it figured out. What can the Jazz be, man? We finished up with their offseason file recently. It hasn't dropped yet, but it will. And hopefully, when you guys watch that one back, you guys will see like we're pretty excited about their future and what they got building there. And
yep.
um, it was a pretty somber podcast, but you can see that at least they know where they're going.
Yeah.
I did a good job of highlighting that. We know that they're tanking. We know they want AJ. Can Ace Bailey score at a high level against a good defense? And can Lowry Markkinen be healthy?
Yeah.
I think those two questions right there for me is what I'm watching for in this one.
Yeah.
But I'll also pass on the Clippers Jazz. Like I probably won't watch this one.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't watch that one either. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
And then
it's okay.
this next one, even if we want to
It's
watch it, we couldn't. Sadly.
you can't
Spurs versus Mavericks. The Spurs will be
banger.
without De'Aaron Fox, Jeremy Sohan, Kelly Olynyk, and Lindy Waters the third. The
Yep.
the Mavs
Yep.
are missing Kyrie Gaffer and Dante Exum. Key
Yeah.
storylines: Wemby and Cooper Flag will take the full stage for this matchup. Can Cooper Flag have an immediate offense/defensive impact? Can Wemby make his MVP case?
We'll have to see with that one, right? I think Cooper Flag off the rip probably will. If you want me to be the answer to that question, I think is yes. I think he's, you asked me if he was generational. I think he has an opportunity to prove it here. He's not a Wembenyama type talent, but my God, he looks competitive. He looks ready, and missing Kyrie Irving, we know he's going to get the usage. So I think Wembenyama is going to have a great game. This one's so good. I'm so sad we can't
So
watch it,
sad
but
we cannot watch this, bro.
it's I'll see the highlights. I might have to stream this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the allegedly,
For
real
real.
quick. You know what I'm saying?
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Like I
No,
don't.
I agree,
Mm,
bro. It's one of those matchups where it's our the future. You know, Cooper Flag, Wembanyama. Obviously, Wemby's been in the league.
yeah.
This is third season. Cooper being his
Yep.
rookie, but I think it's just what we
This one
have
just started.
forward to look to. Look for what we have to look forward to. There you go.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
and the teams in Texas have a bright future. I would say these two are brighter in a sense because they have younger guys, but Houston has KD, of course. But
Three. Yeah, all
all three
three.
of them, but yeah, besides KD, I guess that's the only not young player. But
All three.
excited, bro. Excited to see that all Texas teams are very competitive in this league, and it's exciting to see what they look like. I think Wemby is gonna be in the conversation for MVP. I feel like this past season, prior to his injury, he already was, even without them being good. So if they just win games, man, and obviously it's not an easy thing to do, but you have one of the greatest defensive players of all time behind you. You have Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, who looks very much so like a young James Harden, bro. It's crazy. He's a dog.
Really
He's a
good.
dog.
Looks
Stephon
great.
Castle coming off of this rookie of the year. I think they have a great chance to do very well this season, bro. You know, I'm super high on them. I don't like the Spurs, but
Me either.
I can't deny when something great
Their
is cooking
talent,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, and they have a really good team. Carter Bryant, who's their other Dylan Harper. Was that their only rookies they drafted? I thought they drafted one more. It's not the top. No. Well, obviously those two players gonna
They
make a
gave the
huge
second
difference.
round to Milwaukee.
That's right. But super excited. Wish we could watch it. I'ma watch it. Trust me, I'll watch it. I'll find.
Yeah. Oh
But
my god.
it sucks that
I
you
was
can't.
excited to talk
It
about.
sucks that you can't, bro. You know, if you live in a certain area, you
Yeah,
can't watch
bro.
certain teams. I'm gonna talk about that real quick because that is some BS. It's like we're paying
Hey,
money to.
Dallas, Dallas, I know we can watch.
Hmm.
It's the Spurs we can't watch because we the closest to San Antonio. So
So we
like,
can never watch Wemby, bro.
not at home. Are they on the road? I may have flipped them. Are they at home?
Let me check. I'm probably look at.
Did I flip them on the outline? I think the Mavs are at home. I think I did it right. Like right side home,
Yeah.
left side away.
Where the
Yeah, they are at home, right? Cool.
yes.
Cool. That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. Okay, well, there you go. We might actually be able to get it on League Pass, so that's really cool for me and CJ tonight.
But yeah.
Yeah, going in 9 p.m., right? Because it's 15 minutes away. These are our next ones. I think Kings and the Suns, bro. The Kings are without Demont. You ended up taking them in your dynasty draft, which is interesting. You were like, oh, he's out.
Yeah. Low key.
I won't forget that. I was sick. I couldn't laugh, but you were like, oh, and he's out.
I was like,
But,
damn, Sabonis
yeah.
is out. That's probably why he didn't get drafted so fucking early. Oh well.
It was really funny in the moment, bro. I won't ever forget that in my life. You said, "Ah, damn."
I was like,
But yeah,
damn, Sabonis is out. Fuck.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's.
He's not playing tonight.
It's okay. It's all
And then
good.
Keegan Murray, who was recently signed that extension, bro,
Yes.
140 million, and
What do you think about that
hey, the
contract?
Kings overpaid. Yeah, I'm about to say it to you right now. The Kings overpaid, bro. No,
Shout out to Keegan Murray's agents for getting that contract, but I
for
think
sure.
that
But shame on
was.
the
I think that
shame
they
on
overpaid for what Keegan Murray is at this point. So no disrespect, but I just think
no disrespect, but
well
just
the type
what
of player.
Sharp and Kamara signed for. You mean to tell me that Keegan Murray's 140? What? That's besides the point. Your $140 million player ain't on a court today.
Yep.
So DeMontis Sabonis and Keegan Murray are out, and then Jalen Green's out, which we heard about a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks, bro. Of course, he re-aggravates his hamstring and he can't go. But the storyline, that's just to the Suns' focus. Devin Booker, can he lead the Suns and help them clean up their defensive mishaps? I think drafting Kaman Malawak, was Matt Ishbia's band-aid to that he wants to see. Mark Williams is also on the roster. Can those two guys hold down the center position and lock down the paint? And then does Sacktown have enough firepower without DeMontis Sabonis, bro? You know what I'm saying? And Keegan Murray, I think DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine do give him that opportunity. I think the X factor here is Malik Monk, who we just don't talk about ever, but he's still there, ex-Laker. And I love Malik Monk, and I think he can show up, and he'll be starting tonight. So a lot of good stuff to watch here. We talked about in the Suns offseason file, too. That's one of the teams who I'm going to be watching for closely because they've boogied their way out of the second apron, right? But we'll have to see, as they progress in their future, Ryan Dunn, Malawak, like what their younger pieces look like. Because Devin Booker's in his prime, Dylan Brooks is in his prime. I would say Jalen Green approaching his prime, so like he's no longer that developmental piece either. They're going to be continuing to build through the draft. So I'm excited for this one. We'll see.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's super excited to see what D Book looks like this year. The fact that he finally has the ropes again for his team, I think
Nobody else
has no one to worry about. Obviously Jalen Green's injured, so even if since he's not playing, he doesn't have to worry about it. But I think even if he was playing as well, he wouldn't have to worry about who is the number one guy. So I think seeing what that looks like this season, I feel like we haven't seen that really the past like 4 seasons. Seeing a D Book led team.
Oh yeah, you talking about D Book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we haven't
probably 4 years.
Because even with obviously CP was there, he was a huge part of that offense. But like D Book, I would say wasn't even
I was gonna
leading
say
that
that
team.
wasn't even his like team
Mm-mm.
fully, bro. CP was still initiating the offense the whole time.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a great example of what that looks like. I feel like we haven't seen
I love that.
that in a
I don't
while.
think we've
So
seen that.
ever,
Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say ever really, because obviously he
yeah,
was younger, and when that team was his, it
yeah.
wasn't.
Besides like a rookie, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the 70 point D
but
book, but yeah,
yeah, no, Kings, bro. Like you said, obviously I didn't know Sabonis was out. They have a lot of injuries, so it's gonna be interesting to see what that looks like. Sabonis is such a huge
player,
offensive
yeah,
hub for them, so it's gonna be interesting to see what that looks like. Zach Levine, DeMar DeRozan, we know what they can do, but is it going to be able to
for
win
sure.
games, and are you going to be able to defend? I feel like that's the main thing that I'm
That's
questioning
what it
right
is.
down for
The
them. But
defense.
I think the Suns are going to get this one, bro. That's kind of where
Me
I'm
too.
leaning. I think D Book's gonna
Me
have a great
too.
game. Uh, Honestly, I feel like what's his Grayson Allen.
There you go.
I think he's gonna
He's
have
he
a
was probably he ended up he had a questionable tag. I didn't put him on here, but he ended up. I think
he ended up
he's gonna
going.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's gonna
I
go.
think he's gonna.
So
That's gonna be the like difference maker in this game, like that type of player. Someone
never
that could.
talk about Grayson Allen.
No, and he's a
He's
dookie
awesome.
too, so I can't stand him. But I think he is a
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
player. He didn't have that great of efficiency this past year, but I think he's gonna have a bounce back year, and he's gonna have his role that's solidified. So I
That's
think that's
another player I wish the Lakers would just get.
he's the type of player y'all
Just get
need.
Grayson Allen, bro.
Yeah,
Like you can just sit in the corner and shoot threes. Like,
that's all you need.
anyways, yeah. So yeah, I like that too. I think he can make an impact like that, and we'll see what Ryan Dunn does too, man.
Hmm.
I'm excited to see what he can do on the offensive end. I think he brings a lot of athleticism and defensive intangibles, but yeah. But moving right along, man. This is the other game at 9 p.m. So this finishes out the night. This is the last game on the slate. We got the Timberwolves versus the Trailblazers, and Minnesota, had Ant listed as questionable. He's going to go.
Hmm.
So nobody's hurt for Minnesota. But the Blazers, Lillard, Henderson, and Rob Williams III are all out. So the Blazers injuries are stacking up. I think we kind of knew that going into the year. These guys have all been hurt, for a couple weeks now. So it's not really unexpected. But I think moving on to the storylines, hey, is Anthony Edwards really ready to take that leap? We've spoken about him a lot on this podcast. So really what it is I'm excited to talk about the Blazers here, but can they stifle that defense and figure out a way to have Shaden Sharp, Avia, maybe Jan Hansen, maybe, right? I was going to tell you, Jerome Grant's coming off the bench for the first time in that
Mm.
contract. So, the Blazers are starting Kamara over him. Like, I just want to see what the Blazers can do against a good defense, bro. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Their young guys are ready to go. Shaden Sharp's coming off that extension. And I think for me, I know Ant is going to take that next step. I think the Timberwolves actually got worse last year or this past year.
Hmm.
So, like, we'll have to see what I think he's going to improve as a facilitator. The assists are going to go up. He might average 30. True.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they're going to be on the defensive end. And I think the Blazers have a chance to exploit that, bro.
Yeah.
Avi is really good. Sharp is nice. And of course, whenever Drami Grant's going and their other pieces are going, we'll see what Drew Holiday can do too. I think the Blazers, bro, I'm going to go with upset here.
Upset alert.
Are they at home? Because if they're at home, yes.
Let's check.
If they're at
They
home, give me the Blazers on the money line.
they are home.
Give me the Blazers on the money line.
Blazers money line
How much is it? It's like plus 150 or something
plus
crazy.
160.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're hanging those numbers, opening night. Yeah, give me that.
Opening
I'm like,
night, a home.
yeah, I'm like, give me
Home.
that.
I like that, bro. I'm super high on the Trailblazers, bro. I actually have two players on the roster on my dynasty team. So
Yeah.
I have Donovan Clingan and Denny Avita. So I think this is going to be a great test for them. You know what I mean? I talked pretty highly of them towards the end of the year, seeing what they were able to do the back half of the season. Obviously, not make the playoffs, but kind of work their way up in the standings, and kind of show us what their potential is. And I think this will be a great test for them to kind of build off of that. They have Tumani Kamara, who's one of the best defenders in this league. They have
He's awesome.
Chauncey Billups, who is turning into one of the better coaches. I feel like he's
Say
that's
he's
getting
awesome too.
overlooked. I feel like we harp on these coaches when they don't do well, but we don't talk about them enough whenever they actually are figuring out. So shout out to Chauncey doing a great job in Portland. And obviously, even though he's not playing, Dame being there, I think that's going to make a huge difference. You were talking about Braun earlier with his body language and him not being involved. I feel like that's something that
Dame's the opposite.
Dame's not gonna do. Dame's gonna be in there.
Oh,
He's gonna
no.
be talking to them. He's
He's gonna
gonna
cringe.
be hyping them up. I think that makes a huge difference for these younger guys because come one of the greatest players in y'all's franchise history is coming back to y'all's franchise, building up something, a community with the younger guys that are on that roster now. I think that's going to make a
Camaraderie.
huge difference, bro. It's gonna the continuity on the team. This will be a great test. Like you said, Minnesota last season was one of the better defensive teams in the league. This year,
We'll
you,
see.
you said it. I think you said that they were going to regress. So that's an interesting take. They've only gotten worse in a sense. They older Rudy Gobert. They don't
Older
really have
Conley.
Oli Conley. Randall really isn't the greatest defensively. Obviously, they have J Mac, but
I'm not
it's
playing Rob, bro.
yeah. Rob is gonna be a negative,
You
so
know,
it's gonna be interesting,
Rob was
bro.
like the eighth pick, bro. They traded up for Rob Dillingham, and they haven't played him at all, bro.
Damn, they got it from the Spurs, right? So
We might have you didn't forget about it, but I know
so the
a lot of
Spurs
people
have
forgot about it.
Minnesota's one of Minnesota's picks.
Yes, yes. Do
Wow.
you remember? Because the Spurs
Yes,
could have taken Rob, and they're like, we don't need Rob
we
Dillingham.
don't. I do remember that. Fuck, bro. The rich get richer. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm going with that upset, bro. I think Minnesota's gonna do
Me
great. I
too.
think Ant is going to
Me
take
too.
that MVP leap. But I think
I
being
agree.
away for his first game of the season, Portland already being a very tough team to play against. I think
Hides are
defensively
high.
they're
Hides are
they're
high.
very underrated. I think it's gonna be a tough matchup. The spread is 4.5 anyways. So I would say that I would just go with money line, like you said, to be honest, at this point
And I was going
for
to say the
Portland.
Blazers were hanging 12 and a half last year. Why is
Hmm.
it 4.5 against the
Against the
Timberwolves on opening
Timberwolves
night?
on opening night.
That seems like a fishy line.
That's very
Don't say we didn't warn you. Welcome to three man weave,
welcome to Three
baby.
Man Weave, man. But man,
Yeah.
this
Now for
was
sure, it's definitely dope. You wanted to add any thoughts about the Pacers game tomorrow? Or you
oh
said it earlier.
yeah.
You
So
said it an hour ago, though.
yeah. Whenever so I have Shea on my dynasty team. Shout out to that. I feel like that's super dope for me being able to
Yeah,
have
that is really
my favorite
cool.
player on my dynasty team. But and with
Yeah, that was
our
dope.
sleeper league, we have to lock in our fantasy. And I was texting ZD. Shea had a great game yesterday. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. He got me like 63 fantasy points. He's going against the Pacers coming up this upcoming game tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait. Not lock in this performance. Obviously, risking that, but I don't know, man. I think the Pacers, um, Tyrese being out, Miles Turner not being there, bench guys are gonna have to be playing starter minutes in a sense. Nemhard is going to be a starter for a whole season. So what does that look like? I think we can exploit them on the defensive end, bro. They don't really have a big. I think it's a good matchup for us. Obviously, a finals rematch. They don't have Tyrese, so obviously we don't have J Dub. But I think Shea is going to cook, bro. I mean, we talked about it earlier. That Game 5 performance that he had in Indiana. I think it's gonna be something like that, bro. His form is already what it was when they were playing that game. I
Oh,
think he's gonna replicate something like that, bro. I think he's gonna cook. Uh, I think Casey Wallace
there
is
you
gonna
go.
do what he does. Think be a menace on the defensive side. I'm expecting Chet to do great too. Obviously, probably getting that Pascal matchup. Or I don't know. They have
For
Isaiah
sure.
Jackson as well, so we'll see. He's more than likely going to be guarding Pascal. Benedict Mathurin. We'll see what that looks like. I feel like he's going to be
He's going to be trying to hoop.
he's going to be trying to get buckets, bro. Not as many, or he has more opportunities now that
Way more.
Reese is injured. You know what I mean? Nemhard's going to be starting. So McConnell's probably going to be starting too, right? That's like the lineup that they're
Yeah,
going to be running. So we'll see, man.
they have to.
Their bench is going to be tested a lot. So we'll see. I just think we're a better team, bro. At the end of the day, I think defensively we're gonna cause a lot of havoc. You know, they might be able to keep up the pace, no pun intended, at the beginning. But I think for a whole 48 minutes, it's gonna be hard to do that against us. You know, I think going against the Rockets was a great test for us for the first game of the year, and I think the Rockets are just a better team than the Indiana Pacers. So, not saying that we're gonna blow them out, but I think this is gonna be a good game. You know, moments of the game where it might get close, down by or leading by 4, down by 6 type of thing, and we're gonna have to
Thunder on the
battle
spread.
back. But yeah, get the Thunder on the
Yeah,
spread, bro. I don't even know what it is,
yeah.
but
Thunder on the spread. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Because like you said, like you can overthink the matchups with however you want. Shea Gilgis Alexander is probably going to get 40.
yeah,
Like if it is close.
if it is
Like
close, yeah,
God forbid, yeah, if it's within like 4 or 5 points, he's probably getting to 40 something. So if that's
bro.
the case, we'll see. But what you can say?
Tyrese Maxey 38, VJ Edgecombe 32.
Oh, I might have to lock that
Lock that
in.
in. Dang.
As a rookie,
As
bro, Flag not even gonna have 30 tonight, probably.
first game
Debut, yeah.
debut, yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. Sorry, I had to say that because
No, wow.
crazy.
Wow. Bro, VJ got me 46 points, bro.
Sheesh.
Crazy, dog. All right. Well, you know what, CJ?
What's up,
I
bro?
think I was also going to tell you, man, how do you think we should line this up for season 3? Do you want to drop them day of? Are you going to have us switch up the episodes and start doing like the games tomorrow? That way, when it comes out, like tell the viewers how
Oh.
you want to do it for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For season 3.
I don't know yet, bro. I like us recording 3 times a week just because there's so much that goes on. And
Yeah, it's just like,
Monday is the recap of the weekend, and then Wednesday is the Tuesday games, and then
fuck.
Saturday is the from Thursday
Yeah,
to
it's those
Saturday.
days in
So
between. Yeah.
we have a lot to talk about. If anything, maybe just talking about just because it's just a turnaround time, right? And the time that we record is usually later, so it's already kind of
Later
towards
in
the
the
end of
day.
the
Yeah,
day.
it's already like
It's hard
ended.
to do, yeah, to record. But I mean, I told ZD I'm gonna try to get these done pretty much ASAP. So right after I record, I'll probably try to edit this. We have the finale of the last season that I just need to export, and then I'll do the same to this one and post it. So hopefully we're getting pumping these out. Ideally, I want to be able to post it the next day. I just know the thumbnail process and getting all that stuff obviously takes a little bit of time. So
Yeah, it
uh
takes a second. Yeah. No, that's
maybe
fine.
a day or two
That's fine.
after. So by the time we're
Yeah, that's fine.
recording, we're posting the next or we're posting the video that we recorded the day prior to. So we record Monday at latest, maybe Wednesday, it being posted for the
Wednesday, right.
Monday. And then
Yeah, so they might, yeah. They would get it in like 2 days. That's
two
fair.
days. So that's kind
Yeah,
of where I'm looking. Hopefully, we could keep up that process and get all that done
pace.
because I
Yeah,
feel like that's
yeah.
good. And then obviously we're gonna be streaming on
Live. We're
live on
streaming, yeah.
assist if you wanna join us in that. I wasn't able to get it from this first game, the whole game, but ended up getting it halfway through in the third quarter, so that was cool.
Now I could show up.
Yeah, you could pull up and it'll be dope, bro. Cause I'll be in my room
Hey,
more
chop
likely
it
than
up.
not. I just had it set up in the living room that day because the boys pulled
We'll
up
probably
and
just chop it up like this. I'll just be flipped so I can
watched
watch.
yeah. So, but excited for that, bro, and just appreciate everyone for being rocking with us. Season 3, episode 1. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Excited for
A
this
little
season.
longer one, but that's how the opener's gotta be. I think we've done this for a long time now, so it feels like it's just normal.
Yeah.
What feels unnormal is no NBA.
Yes,
So
definitely.
just glad that this is back. So
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Well,
You want to add anything else, brother?
no, man, I think it's good. NBA season is here. watch the games, bro. Go get
They're
league
on now. No
pass.
excuse.
No excuse not to, bro. Watch some hoops and
Get a
yeah.
free trial, even if you don't have money. Go get yourself league pass and then switch the email. You
Mm-hmm.
can do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Watch these games, bro. But nah.
Allegedly.
Besides that, bro,
Allegedly.
nah, nothing else. Is there
Nothing.
what?
All right. Well, hopefully, I'll touch on LA versus Timberwolves real quick before we get on out of here. I know I said it earlier, but the Timberwolves defense ain't all the way there. I think Luka can take full advantage. We just got to see what AR can do against the bigger. We talked about his playoff struggles, man. I think Julius Randle's probably going to cook us,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest with you. But if Austin Reeves can show up, Hachimura have a little bit better of a game, and then hopefully we can get 8, 10 rebounds out of 8 and plus 12 points. That would be nice. I think we'll end up taking that W. So they could end up starting on a 2-game losing streak if they aren't careful, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's exciting, bro. I can't. I'm Lucas show, man. I told you this.
Lucas show.
Lucas
It's a
show. I'm
Lucas
ready.
show.
That's all I want to
I'm ready
see.
to watch it. I agree with you all the way. I just will say, if we're losing games, he not getting shit.
Yeah. Facts, bro. Well, if
Facts.
y'all liked
All
and
right.
enjoyed this episode, 3 Man Weave, man, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time, man. Peace.